...2017 low-budget horror film One Cut of the Dead is an experimental journey unlike any zombie film you've seen before. The film is about a shoestring horror zombie film being broadcasted live and shot in one take. But what happens when irony strikes and real zombies attack? This film is really hard to talk about without spoiling anything, and I know a lot of you guys trust me. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I do urge you to see this film as soon as you can, and I know it's coming to Shudder, so please, when it does come, watch it before it gets spoiled for you. With that being said, initially, I thought that this film was a blatant ripoff of New Zealand horror comedy I Survived the Zombie Holocaust, which is an underrated, underappreciated film about a runner whose first day on set turns into comedic madness when real zombies attack. Sounds pretty similar, right? But within the first 40 minutes, I knew I was wrong. And the marketing of this film, it does lend itself to horror, when it probably shouldn't, because this film isn't about zombies at all. The film is so clever in the way it unravels. It makes the audience think one thing and makes you question a lot about the creation of the film, but it does a great job at explaining it by the end. I'm treading really lightly, trying to avoid spoilers, but I really loved the creativity and detail that went into this one. It is so thoughtful, original, and unique. Everything seems unintentional and messy, but it actually makes complete sense, and that's where a lot of horror movies lack. Given that the first 37 minutes of this film is one take with no trick edits, I was completely floored. It took them 2 days and 6 takes to get the perfect 37-minute sequence, one take wonder, which is so amazing when you think about going through the whole thing one time and then getting one thing wrong and having to reset. I just love the amount of effort that went behind this film, and it actually took 8 days in total to shoot. The film has a very grindhouse feel to it, which sometimes I can be iffy with. I feel like small productions that don't have a lot of money always head to horror movies because they know they can make it cheese and make money that way and have it, that's the aesthetic. The aesthetic is cheap. And I love some of those films, but some of them you can tell there's no heart and soul in it. This one's very different. But One Cut of the Dead actually did quite well for itself. With a budget of $25,000, it returned an estimate $25 million. The film's writer-director was enrolled in Tokyo's ENBU seminar, which is a school for directing and acting. He teamed up with some of his fellow classmates and made the film from there. He never knew that the original 6-day stunt in an independent theater was going to turn into such a success. The main reason I wanted to do this mini review was to tell you guys that One Cut of the Dead is definitely worth your time, and also to get in there early. But most of all, I want to change your expectations slightly, because I went into this film thinking it was a full-blown horror film, and I know this is so hard for me to say because obviously I'm always saying horror films are horror films, let them be. But this film is very different, and the horror aspect is very minimal, and it's more of a comedy, and it's not about zombies either. When I stepped back, I knew that the marketing was needed for this film, so it makes sense why they did what they did for the general population. But for horror fans like you and me, you just might want to know you're not getting into a full genre film. I'm still going to give this one 7 out of 10. I loved it, and I hope you guys really like it too. For originality, I'm going to give it an 8, and for scare, I'm going to give it a 1. Have you guys seen One Cut of the Dead? What did you think about this Japanese shoestring budget insane ride? Let me know down in the comments, and if you haven't seen it yet, I hope you get to check it out very soon and nothing gets spoiled for you. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay spooky.